I'll be sure to take it all into consideration.
Traveler, Paimon, do you have anything planned after this? Good. I'd like you to help me investigate something. It's about this stone.
You picked the right people for the job. We investigate stuff all the time.
My thoughts exactly. The Qixing has a public duty to deliver our final verdict to the fishermen, but there are also some things I would like to investigate on a personal level. I'm sure you've become acquainted with the general background of the Moonchase Festival. However, I have my own understanding of this festival's roots. My grandfather was a researcher of Liyue's traditions. In his notes, he indicated that there was a deity called the Stove God in ancient Liyue, which people paid tribute to at a certain time of the year. Very few written records make mention of the Stove God, and those that do are notoriously confusing. Some scholars believe that the Stove God was just another title held by the Lord of Geo, but others suggest that this was a different deity altogether. One folktale even claims that the ancients found the Stove God's shrine, but there was no statue. Only a huge, smooth slab of stone. Shortly after it was found, the stone was lost in transit, and it hasn't been seen since. This stone here has all the same features, so I suspect it could be the one that went missing all those years ago. After many years of researching ancient texts, my grandfather came to believe that the practice of paying seasonal tribute to the Stove God may be best described as a festival. He called it the Stove God Festival. That would make it the forerunner to the Moonchase Festival we know today. But this is all just theory and conjecture. To prove any of it, we'd need to start by identifying who the Stove God really was. Now that Rex Lapis has passed on, and Liyue has entered the age of humankind, his successor should continue to respect our nation's culture and traditions, just as he did. That's why I think the responsibility for this situation should fall to me. It's a chance to shed light on our history, revitalize an ancient tradition, and possibly prove my grandfather's hypothesis along the way. With any luck, we'll nail all three in one fell swoop. It was just a couple of days ago that we received this stone. Right after we decided to use food as the central theme for this year's festival. It makes me wonder. Maybe a divine will is at work behind all of this.
3 birds with 1 stone, huh? That's pretty efficient, even for cooking. Hey, don't worry about that. This sounds super important, so don't mind me. Besides, we're only... Wait a second. I got it!
What? Why are you shouting?
Ka-ching, can I tag along for your investigation?
But...
Since it's all about the Stove God, I might get to learn something useful about cooking along the way. It'll be great inspiration for me in the competition. Please, let me come along. I promise I'll help.
if it means that much to you... Okay, I suppose you can come.
Really? Yay! Thank you so much! You're the best!
Now that that's settled, time to get going. Jingsa Village is said to be home to a lot of historical texts, so I'd like to start by making some inquiries there.
Alright, then it's off to Qingsa we go!
Oh, sincerely, Beidou, you misunderstand me. I have many simple pleasures. I take a stroll through Yujing Terrace and one down by the harbor every single day.
Huh. Well, everyone has their way of procrastinating, I guess.
Hi, Granny. We need your help with something. Are there any old books around Qingce Village? You know, from a really long time ago?
Oh, looking for ancient texts, are we? Let me... There is an old warehouse over there. property of the Feiyun Commerce Guild. Many books are stored inside, those that they have no room for at home. In fact, their youngest comes over this way to read sometimes.
The Feiyun Commerce Guild's youngest? You must be talking about Xingqiu.
Paimon didn't know they had a warehouse here. Let's go take a look.
Help! I'm being robbed!
It came from that direction. Come on!
Try! The wind knows about I've come here to clean the book warehouse plenty of times before, but this is the first time I've run into these crooks.
Are you all right?
I am, thanks to all of you. Hey, wait a minute. You're the traveler, aren't you? And you're with... Lady Kuching. An honor. Truly an honor.
We'll try not to take up too much of your time. I understand that this book warehouse is the property of the Feiyun Commerce Guild. Could you advise whether we might find any text relating to the Stove God in this collection?
The Stove God? I heard that's the Lord of Geo, right?
Huh? Really?
Yeah. A friend of mine who conducts research mentioned it once before. We use stoves for cooking, and stoves are built from rock. Some people think that the stove is a gift from the Lord of Geo. And that's why they call him the Stove God.
Seems logical enough. But do you have any books on the topic?
I'm sorry, I'd have to ask the young master about that.
Oh, any questions? Please, ask away.
Hey, it's Chongyun and Xingqiu.
Hello, one and all.
Hey guys, what are you doing here?
I was bored with nothing to do, and thought I'd come out this way for a bit of reading. And then I thought, why not bring Chongyun along too?
Yes. I'm just along for the ride, really.
I see the Yuheng Kuching is with you. Whatever brings you here must surely be a matter of grave importance.
Master Xingqiu, if I may be so bold, do you happen to know if there are any texts on the subject of the Stove God among this collection?
Since I personally selected which volumes to store here, I do have some recollection of their contents. If my memory betrays me not, there is one volume among them called Demystifying the Legends of Liyue, which mentions the Stove God.
Might I take a look?
Certainly. If it pleases my lady, I shall lead the way. Sheng, I will take care of things here. You're free to go about your own business.
They're back! So did you find it?
Yes, Master Xingqiu has quite an exceptional memory. Demystifying the Legends of Liyue does indeed mention the Stove God. However, it says the following. The body of the dragon wielded a tail that could eclipse the sun, and claws to command fire and teach the ways of wisdom. Receiving the gift bequeathed unto them, humankind cooked food with fire, and thus did they prosper.
The body of a dragon? The stories about Rex Lapis say the same thing.
That much is true. But this is the only passage in the whole book. If we want to find out more, we'll have to continue our investigation. There's nothing further to discover here. It seems we'll have to look at other options.
I come from a long lineage of exorcists, and our family too has amassed a number of ancient texts. Now that you mention the Stove God, I seem to recall reading somewhere that this god once appeared at the Guili Assembly.